guys, I'm just Joshin, and welcome back to Pokemon March Madness, aka March Madness, aka March Poke Madness, aka I'm recording this, you can tell by the Dunder Mifflin shirt, I'm recording this the exact same day as the Generation 4 one, yet my chair was still messed up in between videos. Explain that one, science. You can't. As I just alluded to, last time we did Gen 4, the Sinnoh region. You should go back and watch it if you haven't already. You should go back and watch all of them if you have not already, because you might not know what the heck is going on. What the heck is Poke March Madness? I'll give you a quick little primer because I've done it in every video, and why stop now? That's going to be over an hour anyway, so let's just accept it, right guys? Poke March Madness in place of traditional March Madness, which of course was canceled because of the outbreak of COVID-19, aka coronavirus, scary times. Sports have been shut down. I am attempting to supplement a little bit of that entertainment back into your guys' lives, at least take up an hour or so of your guys' day by going through every generation of Pokemon one at a time. Looking at every single Pokemon in that generation in a head-to-head bracket style matchup, starting on the left side, then moving over to the right side, slowly inching closer and closer and closer to the center until I can definitively tell you the #1 best Pokemon from every single generation. We've done Gen 1, we've done Gen 2, we've done Gen 3, we've done Gen 4. It's time for Gen 5, the Unova region. Every video we've done so far has been over an hour. Will today be the first video that does not hit the 1 hour mark? Probably not. Probably not. Why is that? Gen 5 has the most Pokemon added of any generation. More than Gen 1. Gen 1 started with the original 151. 156 new Pokemon. Or 53, can't remember. A lot of Pokemon added in this generation. Basically the same as Generation 1. Which means it's probably going to be a long video. However, there is a twinge of hope. If I'm being 100% honest, I love Gen 5. Let me go ahead and throw that out there. It is either my 3rd or 4th favorite generation. Maybe by the time we finish all of these, I could sit down and give you a definitive list of my favorite generations, but it's tough. Currently, it's either 3rd or 4th. Up there with Gen 8, I'm going to be honest with you. Gen 8, new Pokemon Sword and Shield, is either 3rd or 4th. It's always been 4-5. 4-5 has always been my top 3. However, Gen 8's getting up there. It's close to knocking down 3. I got to check out the DLC first, which hasn't come out yet, to know for sure and see how I feel about it after that. But even right now, it's already getting close. The DLC may push it. But this isn't about Gen 8. We will get to Pokemon Sword and Shield. This is about the Unova region, Generation 5. A wonderful region that gets a lot of hate in my opinion for maybe an undue reason. I think the Pokedex in this region is stacked. But when I say stacked, I don't necessarily mean Gen 4 stacked. It's stacked both in a good way and in a bad way. The Gen 5 Pokedex, to me, obviously to fill out the 156 Pokemon, they had to add a lot of Pokemon to it. And I think some of them really hit the mark. And I think some of them really missed the mark. So this might actually not be as hard as I think it's going to be. And it might not take as long as I think it's going to be. Because I'm there's like a dichotomy in my mind on the Gen 5 Pokedex of love it or hate it. Very few in the middle Pokemon, which, you know, if they keep stacking up love it's versus hate it's, it'll be very easy for us to move through this quickly. However, if they start matching up some hate it's and matching up some love it's, we're going to have some issues. With that though, this episode's sponsored by Dr. Pepper. Not actually sponsored by Dr. Pepper, but please send me money if you want to. It's trying times over here. I'm running out of ramen. I'm kidding. We have so much ramen, you have no idea. We're going to start over on the left side over here. It's time to get started. My requisite talk for way too long intro has started. Oh, by the way, I'm getting all these recorded as quickly as possible because I'm going to grow out my beard for the entirety of this quarantine. And I'm going to look like a hobo by the time this is done. So I figure I should get these recorded while I'm still decently presentable. All right, left side, we begin. It's also like 11 o'clock at night here, so I apologize if I'm a little tie-tie. Brain, mind, and I already recorded one of these today. I'm giving you a bunch of excuses as to why this video is gonna suck. I should give you some reasons as to why it's gonna be good. Can't think of any. Alright, let's start on the left side. You're really gonna start me off with Vanilluxe. Perhaps, again, a lot of people hate on Gen 5. Is that the generation with the ice cream Pokemon? The Pokemon may be at the center of all of the hate right here, Vanilluxe. And we also have Simisear. This is a case of two Pokemon I'm pretty not a huge fan of, if I'm gonna be 100% honest. Does Vanilluxe, does the design suck? Does the ice cream cone design leave a little bit to be desired? Yeah. Vanillite is cute, but it's pretty gimmicky beyond that. It's a little silly. I can understand why people don't like it. In my opinion, Simisear just looks horrible. I think Simisear, of the three monkey, well, just remembered Simipour exists. Simisear is probably in the middle of the pack, but Simisear and Simipour are both pretty bad. So I'm gonna go with Vanilluxe here. Next we have Purloined. And we have, I almost called you Danganronpa. I've been watching too many of Crotus's streams. Your name is not Danganronpa, your name is Druddigan. I should know that your name is Druddigan because I found a full odds shiny Druddigan in one of my playthroughs of Pokemon White. So I should definitely, now I think your shiny's pretty ugly, let me go ahead and put that out there. Your shiny's pretty ugly, and you in general, you look like a dragon, but it's not the greatest design dragon. It's almost like the Magmar of dragons. It's like a dragon Pokemon, but it's just like a mishmash of a bunch of different things. Purloined is a little leopard Pokemon. Your name's not Purloined, it's Liepard. I'm sorry, you're the leopard Pokemon. I think your design's actually a little bit better than Druddigan. Your type is not as cool as Druddigan, don't get me wrong. You're just pretty lame. To be 100% honest, anything is lame compared to a dragon type. But for the sentimental value of finding that shiny Druddigan, we're going shiny Druddigan. Okay, here's the thing. We've made this rule in the past 4, I'm going to continue it. If a matchup is a joke, call it a joke and move on. This matchup is a joke. It's Chandelure by really a Pokemon based on an inanimate object? Here's the thing. Here's my thing about inanimate object Pokemon, like Vanilluxe, or like, I almost said Rotom, my boy Chandelure here. If it's a ghost type, I'm okay with the inanimate object thing, because you have this concept of a ghost inhabiting, Palo Sand, by the way, or Sandygast. You have this concept of a ghost type Pokemon haunting, poltergeisting some sort of inanimate object, bringing it to life. In this case, it's just a ghost spirit inside a candle, a lamp, and then a chandelier. Little gimmicky, maybe, but it's pretty cool. I like ghost types. You don't have a ghost type, buddy, so I don't really understand where the ice cream came from. However, Unpheasant, to be 100% blunt, sucks. I think this is the worst. We're being brutal in this one, sorry. I think Unpheasant sucks. I think it's the worst Pidove, Tranquil, Unpheasant. I think it's the worst early bird Pokemon in any generation ever. It doesn't matter. Pick any single one. Pidgeys, Spearows, Talos, Starlies, doesn't matter. Pick them all. New generations too. Fletchling, throw him in there. Pikipek, don't care. Rookie D, throw him in there. I remembered them all, that's right. You're the worst! So you will not be advancing to the next round. I'm sorry. Look. I'm going to try not to give too much preference to my boy Braviary here. But he's a really, really, really cool Pokemon. And he was also, for a short period of time, while I thought I was going to go in the direction of becoming a PokeTuber, which, let's be honest, I mostly play Pokemon, but I don't consider myself one. I thought I was going to go full into the PokeTuber dynamic until I realized how much drama it was. But I was going to do it. And I chose Braviary as my channel mascot. I even made a flag that had Braviary's face on it, and I was gonna call my channel followers the Broviaries. Yes, that's right. There's a couple videos out there from like 3 years ago. If you go watch them, I begin the video by saying, "What is up, my Broviaries? Welcome back to..." It's horrible. As horrible as the name is, Braviary is an amazing Pokemon, still stands. You're moving to the next round. Musharna, I get what you do, but you don't do it well enough for me. Moving on, Salk versus Throw. Look, sometimes when they do these matchups of the same Pokemon but a different color, it's essentially like flipping a coin because they're the exact same Pokemon but a different color. I would not consider this a 100% coin flip because I actually think Salk's design is way better than Throw's. Personally, it's not just a simple color palette swap like a Plusle and Minun, for example. Actually, this man looks like he'll kick your head off. This man looks like the alien from Lilo and Stitch. What's his name? What's the name of the scientist alien? Not the skinny one, but the chunkier one. He looks like the skinny, three-fingered alien from Lilo and Stitch, and I don't respect him. Basculin, Bouffalant. I'm giving it to Basculin. What's funny, I literally put Druddigon forward because I found a shiny Druddigon, and you know what's hilarious? I'm also keeping Basculin behind because I found a shiny Basculin. The issue is that I found a shiny Basculin and chucked about 10,000 Pokeballs at it, and my man continued to use Takedown over and over and over and over and over again until he murdered himself. It's the only shiny Pokemon I have not successfully captured in my entire life. Full odds. It is the only shiny Pokemon that's gotten away from me, to my knowledge. It's possible I like yeeted past a shiny and didn't even realize it. But to my knowledge, the only shiny encounter I've ever failed, and because of that, get out of here. Bouffalant, I kind of think you were just like dollar store Tauros, but that's going to be enough to get you past Basculin. Okay, this is simple and easy. Again, if it's simple and easy, move on. Cryogonal, maybe it's just because you're so rare, and I'm not going to lie, I tend to have a vendetta against Pokemon that don't evolve. I don't know why. There's some really good Pokemon that do not evolve, and I do think Bouffalant is one of them. There's some good Pokemon that don't evolve. There's also some pretty bad Pokemon that don't evolve. Cryogonal, you needed like a cute baby Pokemon before you, or a cooler evolution, or a Mega. You need something. You've just never done enough for me. Volcarona, I love everything about you. Finding you hidden in the secret sandcastle as a Larvesta. I actually find it as a Volcarona, don't you? Or do you hatch the egg as a... I don't remember. I haven't played Gen 5 in quite a long time. All I know is you're really cool. It takes until like level 59 to evolve you, which sucks. But once you get there, the payoff is completely worth it. Okay, this is a coin flip. It's Kyurem Black versus Kyurem White. I didn't love the whole Pokemon fusion thing, to be 100% honest, in this generation. One of the weaker aspects, in my opinion, if I had to, just based off of aesthetics, I prefer the more sleek design of Kyurem Black versus the more wavy, curvy design of Kyurem White. I also just prefer Zekrom to Reshiram, so that's probably where that comes in. But we'll go ahead and put Kyurem Black ahead. I don't use you, I'll never use you. You guys know how I feel about legendary Pokemon, so I won't harp on it too much. Okay, I hate legendary Pokemon and mythicals, but I'm not going to let Audino get past round 1, so I'm sorry, Audino. Unless you were going up against, like, Trubbish, you pretty much had no chance, and even then probably didn't have a chance. We're going to put Virizion forward. The Swords of Justice... they did a good thing in this generation. First of all, they had 2 different sets of trios, which was really cool. They had the Swords of Justice, technically a 4th if you had Keldeo debate in chat. They had a 5th, or they had the second one when you also include the Weather Trio. I think that was a good move. They did a good thing moving back towards that after a couple boring legendary trios in the Reggies and the Lake Spirits. I think the Swords of Justice are actually pretty cool. Yo, I mean, this is a shame. This is a shame. It's actually not a shame. You know what? I prefer Zekrom to Reshiram. I prefer Zekrom over this Reshiram right here, even though Reshiram can be kind of majestic. And you know what? I tend to think the 3 Pan monkeys, Pansage, Panpour, Panseer, I think they kind of suck in general. But to be honest, the designs of Simipour and Simisear are so unbelievably awful that it makes me appreciate Simisage quite a bit, to the point where I'm almost considering choosing you over Reshiram. But that would be silly, so I'm not going to do that. I'm sorry, Early. You are the best looking of the early grass, or the grass fire water monkeys. You're the best. Know that, but you got stacked up against some power. Speaking of power, we're going Darmanitan, not Zen form, normal form. Found a shiny Darumaka. Gen 5 seems to be my magical generation when the shiny luck, like a Salt Bay, began to get poured on unbelievably. And that's absolutely the case here. Pandemonia, you live in my heart forever, even though you did die eventually. You survived on 2 HP and helped me beat a gym in our Pokemon Volt White Randomizer Nuzlocke. You should go check it out. That's the same Let's Play where I called everyone Broviaries. Embarrassing, but you should go watch it nonetheless. The Zen form's kind of lame, in my personal opinion. I love Darmanitan, though. Darmanitan's a great Gen 5 Pokemon. I don't know who my favorite Gen 5 Pokemon is. It's going to be a tough one today. We have Thunderous versus Garbodor. Okay, I'm going to choose Thunderous. I don't like Garbodor, but not for the reason that most people hate it, which is just, how lame, a trash bag and then a ripped open trash bag. I'll agree the design sucks. I will agree the design is not good. However, what I must say after that is that it also just feels like, again, dollar store Grimer and Muck. I feel like they really tried to recapture some of the magic of Gen 1 in this generation, which is also why they made the deck so big that you didn't have any, you had to use only Pokemon from this. It's like they wanted it to feel like a new logical starting point. So they had their knockoff Tauros and Bouffalant, and here they had their knockoff Grimer and Muck with Trubbish and Garbodor. And I like Grimer and Muck better, so you just don't do it for me. Tornadus is cool, but, Thunderous is cool, but I mostly just don't like Garbodor. Yo, this is very rude that you're going to do this to me. You're going to put my man Scrafty up against my man Beartic. I would consider both of these to be very top tier Gen 5 Pokemon. There's a lot of trash, no pun intended, Garbodor. There's a lot of trash in Gen 5. There's also some really, really solid bright spots, and I would say this is one of them. Both of these are two of them, I guess I should say. I like Scrafty. I prefer Scraggy, actually. Cute little dude pulling up his pants, kicking stuff all over the place, looking a little shifty. Kind of like Scrafty too. I like the combo of typing, by the way. Dark Fighting's a really cool type combo. And I like that he's always pulling up his pants. Beartic is a very simple design. Both Cubchoo and Beartic. Cubchoo with the little snot sickle hanging down. Beartic with the icicle beard. Kindred spirit in a way there. Definitely a more simple design. It's literally just a polar bear cub and then a polar bear. But I've always appreciated the simple designs in Pokemon. This one's extremely tough because these are both really, really, really good Pokemon. Just thinking to myself, if I was doing a Let's Play, who would I be more excited to see? It's probably Scrafty. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Beartic. You probably deserve to make it a lot farther than being yeeted on the first round. But hey, I didn't make this chart. By the way, if you would like to participate at home as well, feel free to. I'd love to see your finished result. You can download it, or you can fill it out, I should say, at the link below, description. Go check the description, click the link, come fill yours out. You can fill it out, you can download it, you can send it to me on Twitter, Discord, however you'd like to. Those are the main two, though. All right, left side finished. Perfect transition into the right side where we have Mandibuzz and Stunfisk. Stunfisk, you're trash. Get out of here. Mandibuzz is really cool. Like the little bone holding its hair in place. That's a good Pokemon. That's a good Pokemon. Stunfisk, not so much. Heatmore and Durant. It's Durant and it's not particularly close. This is the perfect dichotomy of what I said earlier. What I said earlier was there's Pokemon that don't evolve that I hate, and there's Pokemon that don't evolve that I love. Heatmore is a Pokemon that doesn't evolve that I feel really, really, really needs an evolution, and or a pre-evolution, and I dislike it because of it. Durant, like a Tauros, feels like a Pokemon in and of itself. Now, if it got an evolution, it would like, it's like a Yanma type of, Yanmega. It would send it to the next level for me. If you got an evolution, I would lose my gourd, absolutely, without a doubt. I'd be very excited. But even as you stand right now, I'm a pretty big fan of you. BM and Keldeo. I'm not a brony. Let's go ahead and throw that out there right now. But I will go ahead and put Keldeo fourth. I drafted Keldeo early Just Josh on YouTube, back when I was a channel known as Playcrastination. I was in a competitive Pokemon League called the UPA. Don't remember what it stands for. United Pokemon Association, maybe, something like that. And I drafted a Keldeo, having never used one before in my entire life. And this man won me several battles, pretty much by himself. Extremely solid, Scarfed and/or Scoped. Water Fighting's a cool type combo. You guys know I love Poliwrath, so I appreciate the Water Fighting combo. BEM's fine. There's just better Psychic types out there. You're a little forgettable, to be 100% honest. I'm not going to hold that against you, though. Speaking of the UPA, one of the matches I did not win was against my good buddy Alex, aka Mr. Ginger Ninja, who used an Alomomola, and Wish Protect stalled the absolute heck out of me. This Pokemon is dead to me for the rest of my life, not solely because of Mr. Ginger Ninja. I also just don't love the design. I told you Zekrom is my favorite of the two legendary box art legendary Pokemon in Gen 5. And if Reshiram's making it to the next round, so is Zekrom. Sawsbuck versus Bisharp. First of all, let me be honest. I love the different seasons of Sawsbuck. I think that's a really cool concept for a Pokemon. I think it's cool they actually used the different seasons in Gen 5 in general, and that they had a Pokemon that responded based on it. Really cool. However, Bisharp is freaking dope as heck. Bisharp is extremely cool. Dark and Steel, two of my favorite types. Love you, Gen 2, for adding both of them. Combined into one fearsome Power Ranger looking package, it's a win. Meloetta Emolga. It's probably Emolga. Emolga is a Pokemon. Look, it's a Pikachu clone for sure, but it's a Pikachu clone done very, very well. It might be better than Pikachu. It's a shame. They do all these Pikachu clones and then they never evolve. Why don't they evolve? Pachirisu, Plusle Emolga, Dedenne, whatever that Steel type one is in Gen 7, whose name I can never remember. Sorry, my good friend. Yeah, it's Togedemaru. Got it. Togedemaru. They never evolve. Pikachu evolves, so if you're going to make a Pokemon clone, or Pikachu clone, make it evolve. Emolga, I feel like, could have a really cool evolution. Wash your hands, ladies and gentlemen. I feel like it could have a really cool evolution. Even without the evolution, pretty solid. Meloetta, not my favorite. Kyurem, just straight up Kyurem. And a Scavalier. It's a Scavalier. Look, I like the Steel type. I've already made that pretty clear. I do like the Dragon and Ice type, don't get me wrong, but Kyurem's design's just a little too off for me. Little derpy in a way for a fearsome ice-breathing dragon. He's got like tiny T-Rex hands. This man, on the other hand, has freaking jousting lances, for dual lances, living in King Arthur's times instead. I appreciate him for that. We're going Golurk here. Watchog, I have horrible nightmares of you using Hypnosis a million times. This thing's just like a big, once again, Power Ranger looking, but like all the Power Rangers put together. Just like a huge behemoth. Ghost Ground is a really cool combo of typing. Watchog, I like your shiny, but that's about all I like about you, if I'm being honest. Sorry to say it. All right. First one. First outside columns of each have been completed. Yikes, this is going to be over an hour. That's fine. Okay, our first starter has appeared, has entered the fray. You may be noticing. We have a Serperior, the evolved form of Snivy, and we have a Vanilluxe. Since we have reached our first starter, let me go ahead and say that I think the Gen 5 starters are pretty bad. Not just a couple of them, but every single one of them. All three I would consider pretty bad. If I have to use one, it's typically Oshawott, and I really like Oshawott and Duat, don't get me wrong. And then this line's weird. I like Oshawott, I like Duat, I like Samurott, but to me Samurott doesn't make sense as an evolution for the first two, so I don't like it because of that. I typically run through Gen 5 if I'm going to play it with no starter. I get rid of my starter as soon as humanly possible. I know that's weird. It's the only generation I do it in, but I do it every single time. However, you're going up against an ice cream cone, so congratulations, Superior, even though I would consider you my second favorite Gen 2 Pokemon. Even though I would consider you my second favorite Gen 2 Pokemon, you're at least going to survive this round, so congratulations. Genesect and Druddigon. Look, I hate to put Druddigon forward just because I found a shiny one. It's not that powerful that it can continue doing that. It is a dragon, and dragons are cool. Genesect, you're cool as well, steel bug type. But you're like a super rare legendary Pokemon. I've never gotten to use one before. The concept of you is cool. You have like the different burn drive, shock drive and stuff. I'll be honest, I don't know what that does, because I've never gotten to use one of you before because you're a little bit too rare. And the same would go to Victini. I've really never gotten to use a Victini before, but I can at least say that Victini is cute. Victini is cute. It's a cool typing, Fire, Psychic, but you know what's even cooler than Fire Psychic? You guessed it, Fire Ghost, ladies and gentlemen. Chandelure is going to move to the next round. This one's kind of a joke. We're going to go with Excadrill. Excadrill is very cool. Lilligant is fine, cute, elegant, all of those things. I'm not much of a grass boy, and you are definitely not a grass type I often find myself seeking to be around. I hate to say it, so Lilligant, you're getting yeeted. Yo, this is tough, because these are both two Pokemon that I used in my first ever Gen 5 playthrough, when I first played through Pokemon Black. These are two Pokemon that I used. I used both a Swoobat, and I used an Electros. And I like them both. I think I like Electros a little bit more though. Especially, I know a lot of people don't like it. I like when they made him kind of float later in. In this generation, he had the levitate ability, but he was always walking. And I was like, he should be levitating. And then in later generations, they made him levitate, and I like it. Simipour, you're just garbage. Leavanny is very good. Very solid design. I think I used one of these as well. Pretty sure I used a Leavanny in my playthrough, my first one ever if I remember. I would never even consider using a Simipour. Get a haircut. Okay, Braviary wins against Sawk again. Sawk is way better than Throw, but I think they're both kind of lame. Question. My buddy Totter posed this question in my brain, and I want to know. When a baby Sawk is born out of an egg, does it come with the karate robes, or does it have to find them? Is it just walking around nude until it finds the karate robes? A question for the future, perhaps. I don't know the answer. This is tough. That's a tough matchup right there that you've done me with. I like Archeops more than the average bear. Sorry, Beartic. I like Archeops more than the average bear. Even though it's got the ability to feed us, which I know makes it horrible, from a design perspective, we talked about this in Gen 4. I loved dinosaurs when I was a kid, and Archeops. Wait, what is your name again? Is it Archeops? I think it's Archeops. Now I've confused myself because I'm thinking of the actual dinosaur, which is called an Archaeopteryx. That's why your name is Archeops. You're based off an Archaeopteryx. This was one of my favorite dinosaurs. Even though it's technically not a dinosaur, it's an early bird from the Mesozoic era. I don't remember what era, but I have like a special place in my heart for you because I love dinosaurs so much. And I tried so many times to use this guy on my team, but the defeatist ability sucks so bad. I would love to do a randomized playthrough where abilities were randomized and I could use you without defeatist because you would be, you'd be busted. But you'd also be more fun to use. You almost have a Slay King issue with you where your ability just like completely ruins what you are. Except you're actually a really nice looking Pokemon compared to Slay King. However, there is something about the subtle simplicity of Whimsicott that I appreciate quite a bit, even though I don't like grass types. I do not like grass types, and I would not have used this back in the day, but when you added the fairy type, Whimsicott being grass fairy makes a whole bunch of sense, and for some reason made me appreciate you more. Might be my favorite fairy type, even though it's secondary fairy, but might be my favorite fairy type. Or Pokemon with a fairy type. So you get that. Ooh, it's the battle of the quadrupeds. We got Terrakion, we got Bouffalant. I'm gonna give it to Terrakion. Again, Bouffalant, dollar store Tauros for the most part. Terrakion, the Swords of Justice are cool. Rock fighting, decent type combination. You look pretty cool. I don't really respect either of the Kyurems, as I said. I don't respect regular Kyurem, and I don't love the fusions either. Volcarona still remains extremely cool to this day, so I'm gonna have to go with Volcarona. I really like Excelgor too. Excadrill I probably prefer to Excelgor, but I still think this is a really cool, it's like a speedy mummy boy. Also, of course, we had Excelgor in our Pokemon Red and Blue 721 Soul Link randomizer, with our good buddy Totter, which you should check out. And we have a new Soul Link going right now if you want to check out. Shameless plug. However, Zipstrike is too cool. It's an electric type. It's a Zebra. Those two things right there essentially sell me on this Pokemon. That's all I need. We have a Crustle. We have a Virizion. I think the Swords of Justice are cool, but I think Crustle is cooler. I really prefer Dwebble. Crussle's fine. The huge square rock is kind of weird for me, whereas Dwebble looking more like the hermit crab with its like spirally carved out rock, I think I prefer. But I'm still fine with Crustle, and I've had so many good memories of Crustle over the course of my time here on YouTube. Of course, we had our Theta Emerald playthrough when I found a shiny Crustle that I couldn't catch because it was an opponent using it. Left that memory in my brain. In our Pokemon Black 2 Alternate Reality Nuzlocke, we of course had Dwebble and Crustle on the team named Queso, who was a dragon flying type and wrecked everything in its sight. And of course, Queso the Dwebble was our starter in our Pokemon Red and Blue 721 Soul Link randomizer with our good buddy Totter. So a lot of good memories chalked up with this guy. Look, Reshiram does not deserve to make it this far, but he's gonna continue making it this far. There have been other Pokemon in this list that have been yeeted already, looking at you, Beartic, that I would choose above Reshiram. Unfortunately, Reshiram got two very easy targets in a row. You got Simisage, you got Maractus, perhaps the most forgettable Pokemon of all time. See you later. Look, I got a shiny Darmanitan. Have I mentioned that? Can I brag about my shinies any further? I'm choosing shiny Darmanitan, or just regular Darmanitan, over Thunderous. Thunderous is cool from like a psychological perspective. Darmanitan just punches you over and over in the face, and I like that. Emboar, I hate to say it, but you're just the victim of over-design. Could have very easily been Fire Pig. I like the idea of it. They just like, what are these squiggles on your body? You look like a kiln, that you know, like the thing you put pottery in. It looks like an art project, a pottery art project that I would have made when I was in like 2nd grade. And unfortunately, you came to life as one of the starters. And because of that and that alone, I'm gonna pick Scrafty. We have Lillipup's evolution, which is called Stoutland, big ol' mustache. I appreciate my mustachioed brethren, but as we've established in previous videos, I like Turtles. No! So the thing about me is that I still like Turtles, but the website has decided that I'm not allowed to like Turtles. And what that really just means for us is that I'm gonna have to, unfortunately, reload this entire thing, make all of the same selections again, and join you in like 2 seconds. Okay, we're fixed. All fixed. Tortuga advances to the next round, and we're done with the left side. That's a great thing for me personally, because now we're moving on to the right side. We've got Amandavuzz versus Scolipede. It's actually a pretty tough matchup. This is a pretty stacked matchup. I'm going to give it ever so slightly to Scolipede. I think Gen 5 did bug types very well. It was honestly, and to this day, it's a tough decision between Leavanny, and Scolipede. I think both of the bug types that you can catch in that forest, whose name escapes me, are really good. Mandibuzz is a really good Pokemon, but because I'm more of a Braviary boy, always use Braviary more than Mandibuzz. Also, I was a Pokemon... I think I played Pokemon Black more than Pokemon White. Whichever one had Braviary in it is the one that I played more often, because I strictly remember having more nostalgia with that Pokemon than this big old buzzard right here. Gigalith, Mienshao. I did not like Mienshao for a long time, but as I've gotten older, have grown to appreciate its elegance. I think Mienshao is a good Pokemon, however, Gigalith is too strong. I like Gigalith way more, and I think it's got one of the best shiny forms of like any Pokemon, not just in Gen 5, but like of any generation. I'm gonna give it to Gigalith. This one, okay, you beat Heatmore Durant. The Battle of the Bugs here, once again, Gen 5 bug types absolutely killed it because both of these are great Pokemon in their own right. I gotta give it to Galvantula though. Galvantula is typically my go-to bug type. What I do early is like, do I use Scolipede or do I use Leavanny? It won't really matter long term because I'm adding Galvantula to the team like 97% of the time. So I'm gonna have to put Galvantula. Yo, this section here is stacked. This is just rude. We got Conkeldurr, we got Haxorus. This part's not particularly stacked for me. I think, again, Conkeldurr, the entire line, Timburr's cute. The middle evolution, Girder and Conkeldurr. The whole line is, again, like dollar store. It's like dollar store Machamp. Except for this, in this case, for some reason, one of them is carrying a stick. One of them is carrying a steel beam that he stole from a construction site, apparently. And one is carrying two large cinder block cement columns. I don't understand your existence. I don't get why they had to put the clown. Why make him a clown? You just watch the Joker or something? I don't get it. Haxorus is like everything it means to be a fearsome BA dragon, so you win. Amoonguss. Yikes. Yeah, I don't like you so much. This design... What can I say about it without getting demonetized? I don't love the design. There's better mushroom Pokemon. Looking at you, Breloom. Do the same job, but better. The idea of the top being a Pokeball is interesting. It's a huge missed opportunity. They should have made the shiny form look like a Master Ball. That would have been the ultimate. You would have been a little cooler. Cobalion is probably my favorite of the Swords of Justice, so I'll let you win this round. This section is very weak. This is seeded strangely. I think Klinklang is kind of boring, so I'm going to put Keldeo fourth. Klinklang is fine. I mean, you have a Pokemon that goes Clink, Clang, and then Klinklang, and the first one is a gear, and the second one is 2 gears, and the third one is 3 gears. It's like as simple as Pokemon evolution gets. This is a pretty common thread. I told you, I think Gen 5, they tried to recapture the magic of Gen 1. This is, in my personal opinion, dollar store Magnezone. This is, although Magnezone didn't exist, but we'll call it dollar store Magnemite. You got 1, then you got 2, then you got a bigger one. It's just dollar store that line, and that line does it better. We have Zekrom versus Jellison. I really hate the pink form of Jellison. The blue form is way better, and I wish they would have given me that option. Unfortunately, they didn't. I mean, I can just assume that the blue option exists. And Ghost Water is a really cool type that I think that Solo's final evolution should have been. Spoiler alert, going to Gen 8 on you. But I still think Zekrom's a little bit cooler. I'm going to go with Zekrom here. Ooh, this is a pretty powerful matchup. It's a pretty powerful matchup, except one of these is so important in my heart. I like Gothitelle quite a bit. I like Ferrothorn like way more. Even though it took me 1,800 eggs in Pokemon Sword and Shield to get a shiny Ferroseed finally after all of these years, Even after that, I still love you. There's a reason I went to shiny hunt you, and that's because, well, you have a really clean shiny, first of all. And second, I just really like you as a Pokemon, even though I don't know what you are, but I kind of like that I don't know what you are. Seismitoad versus Swanna. It's probably Seismitoad, even though he's got weird pimples all over his body, not judging, by the way. He's got weird pimpies on his body, but I kind of respect him nonetheless. Swanna's just a little boring. Swanna doesn't bring much to the table for me. It's grocery store version of Wingull and Pelipper. I'm sorry, even though Ducklet's cute. Bisharp, Emolga. Alright, Emolga, if you had an evolution, maybe. I gotta give it to Bisharp in this case, though. Again, I've already said my piece on it. Way too cool. Minccino, or Chinchino, versus Sigilith. I'll be honest, Sigilith is extremely underrated. Sigilith is extremely underrated, deserves a little bit more love in my personal opinion. I use this Pokemon in a lot of playthroughs because I think it's really cool. I used to love Ancient Egyptian as a kid. I liked weird stuff. Okay, Dinosaur's pretty normal. Outer Space, pretty normal. I also loved Ancient Egyptian stuff. We used to learn in school. They'd scoop the brains out of their nose when they were mummifying people. Don't know why that latched on to me, but I thought it was cool. And you got like, I mean, your name is Sigilith. You got like hieroglyphics all over you. I think you're cool. Minccino's just a little basic. Lando T, Zoroark. The illusion ability is super cool, and don't get me wrong, your connection to N, who is like maybe one of the most interesting characters in any Pokemon game ever, it's a strong sell. It's not quite strong enough though compared to my boy Lando T, who's just a four-legged beast to be reckoned with. You're my least favorite of the weather-based trio, Tornado, so I'm gonna give it to Cofagrigus. Cofagrigus is really cool. Once again, I love the Ancient Egyptian stuff, so the whole mummy thing. Yamask is a really cool Pokemon. Maybe a sarcophagus that has arms is a little bit of a boring design. That could be debated potentially. I still really like this thing though. No! You scumbag. You're a scumbag. I love both of these Pokemon. We got like the Camelot matchup here. We've got the knight with the lance riding on horseback. The bug type Pokemon in Gen 5 are amazing. I'll continue to tell you that. And we've got the freaking three-headed fire-breathing dragon. Question, does Hydreigon have 3 heads? Take a look at his picture up close and you tell me. Does he have 3 heads or does he have 1 head and 2 arms that look like dinosaur heads? When you start thinking about it like that, it's gonna blow your mind. Except he definitely has 3 heads because Dino has 1 head. Excuse me? Zweilous has 2 heads and Hydreigon has 3. And also their name is based on the German counting of und, zwei, drei. I don't know how to pronounce it. I didn't take German, which means 1, 2, 3. It's Hydreigon, and I'm sorry, Escavalier, you definitely deserve to make it a little bit longer. But it's like one of my favorite pseudo-legendaries ever. Dark Dragon, sweet typing combo until the fairy type came in and absolutely devastated your life. But, I mean, it's a 3-headed dragon. You can't get much cooler than that. We got Golett. We got Samurott. It's Golett. I told you I don't use the Gen 5 starters, and it pains me that Samurott, I'm pretty sure both of the other starters, oh no, Emboar got yeeted. Okay, that makes me feel good. I'm sad that Superior made it past where Samurott did, because Samurott's my favorite of the 3 starters. But Golurk is too cool. Golurk is a big buff Titan demon boy, and I like him quite a bit. This is an evil matchup. This is mean. Again, there's many Pokemon that are getting yeeted off in the first round that I think should make it farther. I cannot vote against Krookodile. Krookodile is way too cool to be yeeted off. You guys know how much I love Feraligatr. You just gave me Feraligatr, but you made him a dark ground type instead. It's just a big alligator crocodile boy. But you made him a different type, and he's extremely cool. Looks like he's got sunglasses on at all times. Reuniclus is cool. Mitosis, meiosis in action. All that sciencey stuff. I like you better than Gothitelle, actually. You just got a poor matchup, and I'm sorry. Alright, continuing to move in further. Druddigon, you don't deserve to be making it this far just because I found a shiny one of you. I've never even used a Druddigon. I never even used the shiny form of Druddigon. But this whole top left corner is pretty weak, to be honest. And Superior, you're not allowed to stay in any longer now that I've yeeted Samurott. So I'm going to give it to Druddigon. See, now this is a tough matchup. Now this is a really tough matchup. Chandelure versus Excadrill. Now that's a really tough matchup. Dude, the seeding in Gen 5 is just rude. The seeding's just rude. There's Pokemon in it that I don't think should be in it anymore. And there's Pokemon that are not in it that are getting kicked out, and it's rude. I'm going based off gut reaction here. My gut reaction says Chandelure. Our starter in a recent Nuzlocke that we did through Pokemon Sun and Moon, my first ever randomized 3DS game, which was really cool. And that alone is giving you some like extra fluff in my brain, and that might be like literally the only reason. Excadrill is beefy and really cool, but yeah, I'm gonna give it to Chandelure. I like both of these Pokemon equally in terms of their use. Like, I would use one of them equally. I think Leavanny's design is just too clean. Electros, you're cool, but you're a little derpy, to be 100% honest. I imagine everywhere you walk, it sounds like... Hopefully that sounded really good for you guys. I just get that feeling from you, whereas Leavanny is like elegance personified. So I gotta give it to Leavanny. I'd like to give it to Whimsicott here. I cannot. What is up, my Braviaries? I gotta send Braviary a little bit farther into this generation. Now, next round may be a little bit tougher yet, but for now, Braviary is gonna make it another round. Terrakion, you didn't really stand much of a chance against Volcarona, to be 100% honest. The bug types in Gen 5, dude, they never stop. The bug types are so good, very powerful. Volcarona continues the trend. The bug types in Gen 5 are so good. And that continues to be the case because I'm going to send Crustle forward. So many bug types that I think are really, really good in this generation. I'm sorry, Zebstrika. I like how early you can obtain a Blitzel. I like your design. I like Crustle's just a little bit too much. He's such an adorable... I would own a well, maybe not Crustle. I would own a Dwebble. You know how cute Dwebble is? Alright, Reshiram, you've survived too long, and this is your time to be yeeted as well. My man Darmanitan, have I mentioned that I found a shiny Darumaka in a playthrough? Let me go ahead and mention it again. Pandemonium is going to make it to the next round. That's a toughie. That's a toughie. Even though I was more of an Archeops boy, I do like Toidles, and I like Tortuga quite a bit. Even if you're slow, I really, really, really like using Tortuga. I like my man's... No, please don't. I like my man's whose pants is falling down just a little bit more, though. It's... Ladies and gentlemen... No, I changed my mind. For the first time ever, that's the only time I've ever done it. I had a change of heart as I was scrolling away. I decided that's not the case. I really just like Scraggy. If it was Scraggy versus Tortuga, what's your name's Caracosta? If it was Scraggy versus Tortuga, it would be Scraggy. If it's Scrafty versus Caracosta, it's Caracosta. But I need to think of them in the full package. And I think the full package of Tortuga Caracosta is better than the full package of Scraggy Scrafty. I just like Scraggy too much, but Caracosta deserves to win that one. All right, that's a worthy change. Scolipede, Gigalith. The bug types in this game are so good. Have I mentioned that? I'll mention it again, but not enough because Gigalith is... Most of the Pokemon in this game are dollar store versions of previous Pokemon. You would think that this Pokemon... Roggenrola and Boldore and Gigalith would just be dollar store versions of Geodude, Graveler, and Golem. Not the case. I actually think it's a better version. It makes them look like the dollar store version, So I gotta give it to Gigalith. Bruh. 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 I hate this a lot, to be honest. This could be a top 4 matchup. This could be a top 8 matchup for sure. It could potentially be a top 4 matchup. You have the epitome of what it means to be a cool, powerful dragon. And you have Gen 5 coming in clutch yet again with the best bug types in the game. Despite my horrifying fear of spiders, it's Galvantula. I'm trying to think if I was doing a playthrough who I would be more excited to see show up on my screen. And it's probably Haxorus. But I think I still like Galvantula more as a Pokemon, which is a little weird. It's a little weird. I think it's just a great Pokemon. I think it's just a fantastic Pokemon. Continue. Alright, we got the Swords of Justice. I'm going to give it to Keldeo for my days in the UPA. I'm sorry, Cobalion, you fought valiantly. Again, not a brony, even though it's starting to look like it, I understand. Okay, Zekrom, you're cool. You're not cool enough to take out my boy Ferrothorn. He's got vines. He's got weird feats. He's pointy. He's like a strange, grassy Chandelure. I don't really know what he is or what he's supposed to be, but I like him. You're a little too anime. I think that's a lot of people's complaints about Gen 5. Gen 5 is a little too anime. You're a little too anime for me. Look. Bisharp's gonna go ahead and pop them pimples like those videos people like watching on Facebook. Disgusting, by the way. Not to offend you if it's your personal hobby. You can go watch those if you want. But when people retweet them or share them on their own page, just because you like watching pus and goop and blood squished out of a man's forehead pimples does not mean I want to see it. That's almost an instant unfriend in my personal opinion. If you be sharing those videos, get them out of there. Now that being said, Bisharp's just cooler than you, I'm sorry. Sigilith is just cooler than you, I'm sorry, Landorus. This is where the legendaries are going to start falling as we start getting to... I've said it before, I just don't use legendaries on my team. I do use these Pokemon on my team, so I have more of an emotional kindred spirit with them. So we're going to go ahead and give it to... Excuse me. So we're going to go ahead and give it to... What did I eat for dinner? That was gross. We're going to give it to Sigilith. Look, I'm not about to yeet both of the dragon types in the same round. I do prefer Hydreigon to Haxorus anyway, so it doesn't bother me that Hydreigon is making it further. What bothers me is how much I really like Cofagrigus. Really, really, really like this Pokemon. So I'm sad I'm not going to get to take it farther. Hydreigon is too cool, though. And likewise, Krookodile is just way too cool. As much as I'd like to take Golurk on to the next round, I think Krookodile is just way too cool. I like Reuniclus better than I like Golurk, so by proxy, I have to send Krookodile to the next round. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, with that, we are in the Sweet 16. 16 Pokemon remain by the end of this round. Pinkies out. By the end of this round, we'll be cutting them down to the final 8, then the final 4, then the final 2, then the final 1. That's how dividing by 2 works. And our first matchup, okay, Druddigan, you've been living on borrowed time. Not to be rude, you've been living on borrowed time. And guess what? I also have a shiny Litwick, aka a shiny Chandelure. So just because you have a shiny does no longer mean, and you were full odds and I did shiny hunt for you to be fair, but just you being shiny doesn't have enough special place in my heart. I've used many a Chandelure in my time, and my heart skips a beat every time I see it. This might be like the cleanest shiny in the game, to be fair. Now it's getting tough. Now it's getting tough. For those, if this is your first video, by the way, welcome in. Once we hit this point of the Sweet 16, it really becomes more about gut reactions than anything else. I could try to make arguments for both of these Pokemon and could probably come up in my head with fantastic reasons for both, and we could be here for 10 hours and not have made a choice. However, I've already taken up like an hour of your time, So allow me to use my gut reaction and instincts to tell you which one I like more. It's my bird boy Braviary. Braviary is going to go to the next round. I'm sorry, Levany. My bird boy Braviary. I really like birds in real life. Eagle's extremely cool. I got to give it to my boy there. The battle is some bugs. We got some bugs, huh? I think I have more of a sentimental attachment to Crustle just from all the playthroughs I've done. But I'm not going to lie. I'm going to say that Volcarona is the better Pokemon. And I like that Pokemon more. Removing all of my sentimental attachments, it's got to be Volcarona. I'm going to go ahead and make some sentimental attachments here and say it's got to be Darmanitan. I would say these two Pokemon very equally. Like, I would say they're pretty equal in terms of how much I like both of them. I just don't have as much of a sentimental value with Caracosta. I do, however, have a sentimental value with my shiny Darmanitan from our Volt White playthrough, so I have to send Darmanitan forth. Look, Gigalith, I'm sorry, you're not going to make it. If Galvantula beats Haxorus, Galvantula is definitely beating you, and I'm sorry, but that's just logic. That's how it has to work. Keldeo, I think you made it farther than I expected any legendaries in this generation too. So a little pat on the back. Little applause for that. But this is where it ends, unfortunately, because you're going up against my boy Ferrothorn, and you just don't stand a chance. Yikes. This one's pretty mean. This one's pretty mean. The combination of Dark and Steel is too powerful. The two types they introduced in Gen 2 mashed into one being, and his name is Bisharp. He literally looks like a Power Ranger. And I didn't even watch Power Rangers when I was a kid, but he looks like one. He got some thick thighs. You're probably more interesting, Sigilith, but I gotta go with my boy Bisharp. No, that's mean. Yikes, brother, that's big mean. That's a big mean thing you've just done there. We got Hydreigon Krookodile. Hydreigon, who was literally on our UPA team as well. Shout out to Keldeo. Krookodile, who I just love as a Pokemon. I think this is the round where the UPA dies, unfortunately. Keldeo was sent to the Shadow Realm. Krookodile, you're going to go forth. I'm sending Hydreigon to the Shadow Realm. Sending two of my Gen 5 Mons that we had on the team in the UPA to the Shadow Realm. Krookodile's just too cool. Krookodile's too strong. Ladies and gentlemen, the Elite 8 are here. 8 Pokemon left. Gonna be down to 4 next. Let's not stop while we're ahead. Chandelure. Ooh! Now it gets tough. Now it gets tough. Now it gets tough. Chandelure Braviary, aka Braviary. Chandelure Braviary. Chandelure Braviary. Much like Playcrastination, here's Playcrastination, here's Just Joshin. We're going forward with Just Joshin, I hate to say it. Playcrastination is dead, rest in peace Playcrastination. Some fantastic memories with you, Braviary, and Playcrastination. But this is the new. This is that good. We're continuing with Chandelure. And next we have Volcarona versus Darmanitan. Volcarona versus Darmanitan. Oh, by the way, I didn't mention this, but any Pokemon that gets an evolution at some point, or a Gigantamax, or a Dynamax, or a Mega, or an Alolan form, whatever. Any Pokemon that gets different forms later down the line will not be, I probably should have said this at the beginning, not an hour in, but it will not be considered in my decision. So for example, obviously we have Galarian Darmanitan now, who is the bestest snowman in the world, and I love him. But I'm judging this solely off of this Darmanitan right here, our Fire Monkey boy, versus this, like, you're not technically a mythical, are you? Are you pseudo? I don't know what you are, but there's something magical about Larvesta and Volcarona. If I'm being 100% honest, there's something magical about you. Maybe it's that quiver dance, I have no idea. There's something alluring about you, but it's not quite strong enough compared to my boy Darmanitan. He's such a good boy. I love Darmanitan a whole bunch. His evil smirk, his sharp pointy teeth. I like the whole package. Okay, once again, I have to judge everything versus Galvantula based on the Haxorus standard, by the way. It was what we're going to call that now. It's a new scientific concept. I did it with Gigalith. Is Gigalith better than Haxorus? No. But Galvantula won, so Galvantula therefore is better than you. Is Ferrothorn better than Haxorus? It's close. But no. It's not better than Haxorus, so therefore Galvantula must proceed. And that's the way we're doing that. I'm going to have to do a similar thing here. Is Bisharp better than Hydreigon? No. But Krookodile beat Hydreigon, so Krookodile therefore has to beat Bisharp. It's process of elimination, which by the way is telling you that there are some Pokemon, just because these Pokemon are in our final four, which by the way is pretty darn stacked. Krookodile, Darmanitan, Galvantula, and Chandelure. Just because these Pokemon are in our final four does not mean they're my top 4 favorite Pokemon in the Unova region. We missed out on a lot of potential Pokemon that could have maybe been here. Looking at you, Haxorus. Looking at you, Hydreigon. Escavalier would have been in the running for sure. Probably not Beartic, to be fair. Reuniclus, maybe. There's some good Pokemon in there. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the final four. Chandelure versus Darmanitan on the left side. Galvantula versus... excuse me? Krookodile on the right side. Brother, this is gonna be tough. Brother, this is gonna be tough. Let's start on the left side, which is that way. Let's start on the left side. Battle of the fire types. We have Chandelure. We have Darmanitan. 2 absolutely busted fire types. 1 physical, 1 special. Does it really matter? 1 has the extra little kick of ghost in there as well. Just a little hint of ghost pepper in there if you like it a little spicy. And to be honest, I tend to like it a little spicy. Not just talking about my Pokemon, talking about my food as well. I make a bowl of ramen, I'm sprinkling a little red cayenne pepper in there to spice things up if at all possible. And the little spice of ghost here is just enough for me, personally, to pass you above my boy Darmanitan here. Alright, left side taken care of. Now onto the right side, where we have my boy Galvantula and my boy Krookodile. Let's do the Haxorus test. Galvantula beat Haxorus. Do I think Krookodile is better than Haxorus? The answer to that question may surprise you, because it's yes. I do think that Krookodile is cooler than Haxorus. Personal opinion. Personal opinion, I think Krookodile's cooler than Haxorus. Which means we're on pretty equal ground here, because I also think that Galvantula is cooler than Haxorus. So who's cooler? Not that everything's based off of coolness, but which do I like more? A Galvantula or a Krookodile? Bug, electric, dark ground. Yee, I gotta be honest with you. The bug types in Gen 5 are so ridiculously strong! But you may notice I didn't click. And the reason I didn't click is because they're not quite strong enough to dethrone my boy Krookodile. Now this is actually the most difficult matchup I've ever seen. Maybe the toughest out of any of the generations we've done so far, 1 through 4. Chandelure Krookodile. Chandelure Krookodile. Pure power in a physical form and pure power in a special form. How do you even decide between the two of these? I'm extremely tempted to just flip a coin. I'm extremely tempted to just flip a coin to make the decision for me. However, I can't do that. Some of my favorite types here. Fire type, ghost type, love them both. Dark type, maybe my favorite type. Ground's still pretty awesome as well. The typings are really cool here. I would love to use both of these on a potential team, if at all humanly possible. How can a man choose? How can a man possibly choose between these two? I think the only way to do so is to trust your gut. I think the only way to do so is to trust your gut. So, ladies and gentlemen, my definitive best Gen 5 Pokemon, bar none, no doubt in my mind about it. Okay, maybe wavering a little bit, but only small doubts in my mind about it. The best Gen 5 Pokemon, in my personal opinion, is, drumroll please, you don't actually have to do a drumroll. I was going to hide the screen from you, then realized I can only hide myself from you. Which I may want to do after choosing this, because, to me, the answer to what is the best Gen 5 Pokemon is Chandelure. It's Chandelure. There it is. I had to start thinking about the pre-evolutions as well, and I was looking at Krokorok and Sandile, and I was looking at Litwick and Lampent. And when I thought of Litwick, when I thought of the cute little boy melting wax candle Litwick, Wax-a-Million, my boy, the second his cute smiling face popped into my head, it had to be Chandelure. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we have completed 5 generations of this, 3 left to go. Do you agree? Do you agree with this wonderful bracket? Do you disagree? I would love to know. Please let me know in the comments down below. I hope you guys are staying safe and smart during this quarantine. And I hope these videos are bringing you just a little bit of enjoyment. And maybe, hopefully not too much anger as I yeet some of your favorite Pokemon from my personal list. Let me know if you agree or disagree in the comments down below. And of course, you can fill out your own, and you can then share your own fantastic, I think we do presentation mode. I actually don't know what this does. It just zooms in. It just zooms in. I don't like it. Exit it. There's some way you can share your completed one with me, or you can just download the picture of it. Twitter, Discord, all in the description below. We will be back on Friday, hopefully, if these are coming out correctly. We'll be back on Friday to go over to Kalos, maybe the most hated region of all time. We will see. For Gen 6, I have a soft spot in my heart for it. And the best part of it is there's only like 80 Pokemon added, so it should be relatively quick. If there's gonna be a time we're gonna go less than an hour, it's gotta be Gen 6. So I'm excited for it, but that'll be on Friday. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Please consider showing some support down below in the form of liking, commenting, subscribing, all a tremendous deal. And of course, share with your friends if you got any. But with that, thank you guys so much for watching. And I'll see you next time.